Hello again and welcome back to another Mordian Glory Warhammer 40k 9th edition battle report. So me and Johnny have finally been able to meet up to play a game of 40k now that the UK lockdown has been eased a bit, and we've both used our hobby time very, very well. We've now got two fully painted 1750 point armies in this case, because we're just playing a little bit low, anticipating some points rise for 9th edition, and yeah, all based. So no shenanigans around the painting score, guys.
No arguments.
No arguments. And it's gonna be really, really good. So we will go through the Mordian Iron Guard now. It's 1750
Everything's going to die in 2 turns because it's too new. It's going to be new model syndrome. Army wide for 2 armies.
It's army wide new model syndrome. So
you played yours a little bit at like 1500 points whatever, so you've got a bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
Whereas my entire army is going to crumble as soon as you look at it because I've never played on a bat rep and fully painted before. That's
very true. So if you'd like to concede now, Johnny.
I would, yes.
Okay, excellent. So the Imperial Guard have won, but we'll just play it out because Johnny has come all this way, so we might as well give you something to see. So we'll go through the guard now. Like I said, this is 1750 points as per the latest points edition in 8th edition. So this might be a little bit different if you come back and see this historically, but it should be fairly close. So 1750 points on the nose. So what we have here is 2 battalions. Yes, I know 2 battalions is not ideal in 9th edition, but this is how the army was built, and thus, this is how the army shall play. We're not being cheesy today, guys. We're just playing our armies exactly how we intend them to play.
I am using test of skill.
Johnny's using test of skill. We'll get to that in a moment, but essentially, it is an entirely wasted regiment trait in this battle, but he built the army with that trait.
That's what these guys do, so that's what they're going to do.
Exactly, and the way we're doing this is, you might be thinking, oh, that's not optimised.
In a tournament, you can.
In a tournament, you can't optimize it. So these are the traits that we would take. These are the lists that we would, some lists that we would take to a tournament. And so sometimes you get good matchups, sometimes you get bad matchups. So this is it. We're just going to see how it rolls.
If on the off chance that I happen to come across a pure infantry list,
in 9th. Never know, Johnny. Pure infantry could be so not meta. It flings round.
That is the very definition of meta, bro.
And becomes meta because everyone is anticipating MSU. Anyway, enough of a preamble. Let's get into these lists.
MSU, many multiple small
units. Okay, so the first battalion, or first platoon as I like to run my army, is we have a company commander with a bolter, and we have a Lord Commissar with a bolter and a power sword. Lord Commissar will be the warlord for today, and his warlord trait will be voice of command, master of command, sorry, which gives him an extra order. Wow, I'm rusty. We haven't played 40k in over 120 days. You do get a little rusty.
I played last weekend with Sam.
That's true.
Lockdown was first used.
That's fair enough.
So you'd like to concede.
So then we've got the 3 other characters for this platoon, and we've got a junior officer with last pistol and power sword, Minotaur and priest with last pistol, auto gun, it's hidden beneath his robes very sneakily, and a chainsword. And we've also got a master of ordnance today. So I'm going to take him because he's got a really cool stratagem in the new Greater Good. I say new, it's new to me, but it's been out a while now. Then we've got 6 infantry squads. We've got 1 with a las cannon and a grenade launcher, 2 with missile launch and grenade launchers. All those sergeants have just got las pistol and chainsword. And then we've got 3 more infantry squads, all kitted out identically. Sergeant has a bolter, the special weapon guy's got a grenade launcher, and the heavy weapon team is a heavy bolter. So there we go. For the support elements for this platoon, we have a squad of veterans with 3 plasma guns, and the sergeant has a plasma pistol and a power sword. Just lots of plasma death in there. And then we have 3 mortars. Now I know mortars probably aren't ideal anymore, but I still really like them. I think having the ability to just ignore line of sight is still...
The ability to shoot at witches will be phenomenal.
Yeah, the ability just to clear away these filthy witches will be quite good. And then we've also got a squad of 6 Ogrins. I love these guys. They're not optimal, especially with their points increase. For some reason, they went back up to 30 points. But I love the big lovable brutes, and they're actually surprisingly good, just cheap muscle. And if they die, then they die. And if they make it, then they tend to break some heads. So they're quite a good disposable distraction can't effects unit.
And if they get captured and put in a sex dungeon, then...
Well, they won't really know what's going on. But I'm sure they'll adapt.
Fetch a fine price in the slave markets of Camorra.
Yes. It's what's it? It's like in Game of Thrones, but it's like the dwarf's cock is lucky. It's like, well, think of how lucky an ogre's cock must be.
The virility potions you can take away to participate in sex parties for multiple days at a time.
And this is why I set the channel settings to not appropriate for people under 18. So on the second platoon, I've taken a second detachment, which means this will cost me 3 CP. So it's flipped on its head. Previously I would have oodles of CP with this list. Now I have less CP than the Drukhari, but we'll see how that works out. We've got another company commander. He's just got a las pistol and chainsword. We've got a Lord Commissar who has a bolt pistol and a power sword. In this case, it's a power riding crop. I know a bolter would be better, guys, but this is what he's modelled with, and I always play what you see is what you get. Then we've got 3 more support characters. We've got a junior officer with a bolt pistol and a chainsword. I had 1 point left over, and I thought he's not carrying a bolter, but he's got a pistol holster on him, so he can have a bolt pistol. And then I've got another Minister and Priest with auto gun, las pistol, and chainsword. Astropath, because of the new terrain rules, they hurt my brain. So if I can take an Astropath and just ignore the terrain rules, it makes it easier for me to learn 9th edition. Okay. And he will have Psychic Barrier as his power, because I don't believe Nitrile will be as useful if there's potentially -1 to hit terrain on the board, and now we can't go above -1 to hit. I think having more armor saves is better.
Do we have any -1 to terrain on the board though?
Well, we'll go through that on the when we do the deployment, when we agree terrain. Then I've got 6 more infantry squads, 3 with Flamer and las pistol and chainsword, except for this sergeant. I had 1 point left over, so he's got a bolt pistol and chainsword. And then I've got 3 more squads with power sword and plasma gun, and the sergeants in each one of these squads have got plasma pistols as well. So I just thought, you know what, let's just really kit some elite infantry squads out. Let's just have plasma pistols on them, because they're only 5 points and they do give you an extra plasma shot at close range, and I intend to be at close range with this platoon. Then we've got a second mortar squad and another squad of veterans. Now these are the old school Stormtrooper models, for anyone who's wondering. I absolutely love them. I do actually have a regular veteran squad painted up, but I wanted to use these guys. I spent a lot of time in lockdown painting them up. So today they're going to be my veteran squad. Sergeant with plasma pistol and power sword, and 3 more plasma guns, and then the rest have just got las guns. And last, but certainly not least, we have UG Patrol over here. UG, led by their Bulgrin leader, UG the Bonehead, and he will be leading a squad of 9 Bulgrins. We are not splitting them down. We're going to keep them as a big death blob. So we'll see how that works out.
Big dead blob.
Big dead blob. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. I think that'll be quite interesting. I painted them up as a squad of 9. Let's use them as a squad of 9. So we'll go over the Drukhari list now. Johnny will take us through that, and then we'll do a little bit of thoughts about these are our lists for 8th. We'll see how they perform in 9th, and then we'll get onto the battlefield. So here we have 1750 points of Drukhari. This is Johnny's witch cult. He's spent a lot of his lockdown getting this all painted up. In fact, the last time we saw us on the channel, I believe, it was at 750 points. And not all the bikes are painted. He didn't have all the bikes, and not all of them were painted. Some of the witches weren't painted. So he's done a really, really good job of painting these all up. Now, if any of you guys are interested in seeing some more Blood Angel, Death Watch, Drukhari, Tau Tactics, the factions that I don't really cover, go and check out Johnny's channel. It's called Schola Progenium. There will be a link down in the description below. And basically, between the two of us, we cover almost every army. So it's really good. And we're trying to sort of link our channels a bit more, and so if there's something you want to see on my channel, I'll probably just reference you to go to Johnny's channel if it's not on there.
Consider
and vice versa.
Consider us one greater, like, you know, production house.
Yes, exactly. We'll come up with
one wing of the Imperium.
Yeah, exactly. We'll come up with some sort of like channel affiliate name, like Brohammer or something like that. If you've got any ideas, put it down in the description below. But anyway, Johnny, do you want to take us through your list now?
Okay, so starting off, I'll tell you what I've got at the front now. We'll start off right with an unconventional choice. I have a unit of 3 Clawed Fiends. Now, these are actually the Ambot model from Necromunda, but I love a lot of the Necromunda range, and I was just waiting for an excuse to get these guys in the army, and then they make the perfect, because my sort of fluff, these guys are super neo-capitalist, you know, super futuristic sci-fi, and the beasts don't really fit in with the army, but these sort of killbot style robots are perfect for spectacular and sensational deaths live. live streamed, because that's what my army does.
I was going to say, do you want to take us through just a little bit, for those that haven't seen the army before, just 30 seconds on the fluff behind them, because you've really developed this.
Well, essentially, they don't have they're a new cult, and they don't have their own sort of, what do they call it?
Arena.
Yeah, arena, a palace arena or whatever. They haven't got that capital yet. But the leader's very innovative, and she's the head succubi, and she actually has a streaming service. So, you know, say you can't afford, say you're a Drukhari, everyday Drukhari person, you know, after a long day in the splint pistol factory or whatever, you know, overseeing the slaves and whipping them, you know, you're tired, but you can't afford to go to the arena every night, but you want that hit and murder. You don't want to go into the dark streets of Camorra and risk a big homunculi bill if something goes wrong. So you sign up to our streaming service, and essentially we do real space raids every night, live streamed. We've got cameras on all the vehicles and, you know, all that kind of thing, pay-per-view, and, you know, they can just do raids. So tonight we're just, you know, doing a pay-per-view raid on the Mordian 5th Infantry. Or,
50th?
50th. Well,
get it right.
You're not even Mordian anymore.
Let's not get into that.
You're stolen valour, not Mordian glory. You're not using Mordian trade.
Well, history is written by the victor, my friend. So we'll see if I.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We will see.
So you want to take us through the list then? So that's really interesting, fluff-wise. I know we've covered that before, quickly in another battle report. But for those who haven't seen it before, yeah, John's put a lot of effort into the fluff behind this. So I really wanted to give him a chance to talk about it.
I don't have any cabal, any homunculi. These are hit and run force. I just love the witches. I'm addicted to the witches and the jet bikes. I'm one of the jet bike armies since I was little.
Big titty goth girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Big titty elder goth girlfriend. Edgelords. Edgelord army. So they're led by Beastmaster. He's really useful. One, because in a witch cult army they really get powerful once you sort of get around 12 witch units, because then you can really pick and choose which drugs are optimal for each unit that you've got. One of the drugs that's really hard to use is actually the leadership one, +2 leadership. And because he can give his leadership to the beasts,
very interesting,
you know,
yeah.
and it essentially makes them leadership 9, so they'll never lose anything with battle shock.
Okay, so these are your Clawed Fiends, this is your Beastmaster.
And he's a character, but he's actually an elite choice. And these also don't contribute to fast attack.
Okay, yes.
They're not a slot.
When you take the
doesn't matter
Beastmaster,
currently, but because I'm in 3 patrols, which I'll explain later.
Okay.
So then I've got my custom built Drazar, sponsored by Hypex Ultra.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've got
Hypex, slay the right way.
Yeah. The faster kills at half the calories. Then I've got my custom Lilith, just with a blades and a, I can't remember what the lance is called, sorry. And I've got a succubi. Now, unfortunately, I've had to change my, because I'm not using Red Grief anymore, whatever, I can't remember which cult it's in. I can't use her special glaive, so she's actually got the triptych whip.
Okay.
And a blast pistol, so that glaive is a blast glaive, like on
That's
Stargate.
fine. The witches are armed with so many variety of blades and stiletto daggers and all these kind of things that you can pretty much arm them with what you want, and it's still cool.
I mean, that's the thing. Also, I mean, I've got a dark lance and a disruptor cannon, and then all my planes are armed with dark lances, but I can miss disruptor cannons because 99% of the time you face Imperial armies, and an Imperial player doesn't know his fucking
I'd prefer the look of the dark lance.
Yeah, I prefer them because they're more sleek, so that's why I put them on. I do have more models that I can
a bit chode, I'll be honest with you. These are a bit more sleek.
Exactly. So I feel the same. So I then got 5 units of 5 witches. 4 of those have a set of Hydra gauntlets in them. And one of them has a shard net and impaler, which is really useful because even if you try and, it's been confirmed, you know, if you try and pull back, you can spend your CP to like do a desperate breakout, and I can still prevent that breakout with the roll off afterwards. After you
very
attempt.
nice, yeah.
You can't get away. But you know, witches are going to suffer because, you know, the vehicles can shoot them in close combat, so it's really going to be interesting seeing how the witches play. I've then got the sort of core of the force is 3 units of 9 jetbacks. I experimented with units of 12, but just a bit big to fit in cover, and obviously you want that cover save, because that gives them 3 up in cover. And they've got 3 blasters and 3 grav talons in each, so that's 3 mortal wounds and a 4 up if they charge you, and obviously blasters are sick. Then you've got 2 razor wing jet fighters. Both of which are armed with double dizzies, they've got missiles, and they've got splinter cannons.
Is it like the scatter shock missiles or something.
And they've
Strength
got,
7
they've got all kinds. They've got like 4 different. It's got monocythe, like some kind of megatoxin or something.
Okay.
I usually use the monocythe when I'm against Imperium. We'll see what's more useful against you.
Okay.
But yeah, essentially, they're running. They're running. Not at all. So they're running as 3 patrols. One patrol has 1 unit of infantry in it, and that's a Cult of Strife. So it's led by Lilith. It's got 1 unit of infantry, no transports, and that is essentially. It helps me balance my combat drugs, and it allows me to take Lilith in the army. I'm not that keen on Lilith, but I had the points over a succubus, so I took it.
Yeah.
Then the rest is split into 2 patrols, and all of those have, I think it's called Flensing Fury or something. Anyway, exploding 6s to hit and melee is one of the custom obsessions, and the other custom obsession, which is entirely useless, is Test of Skill, which means if you've got 8 or more wounds,
+1 to wound against me.
It's +1 to wound against you, but obviously that's going to be entirely useless. So most of my army is running without a decent trait, but with combat drugs, essentially the combination of the combat drugs is all the witches are either +1, they've either got +1 attack if they're Cult of Strife, or they've got 6s are exploding in close combat, and then they've all got +1 strength. These guys, and that makes them, strength 4 essentially. Then I've got the Cult of Strife guys. Then I've got the 3 jet bikes, and they've all got toughness 5, so they've got +1 toughness.
Yeah, that's really good.
So every jet bike's toughness 5, and that essentially makes the whole army that's exposed on the field toughness 5, because these are toughness 5, 4 wounds each. On my transports, toughness 5. On my jet bikes, toughness 5. Planes, toughness 5 or 6. Can't remember because it's been a while since I played with them.
It doesn't really matter in my army if it's 5 or 6, to be honest.
But essentially, it's it's actually on the field deployed.
Very resilient.
Got quite a resilient list, hopefully. So, that's it. I'm not making use of my test of skill, but
the good thing about
all the transports are in the test of skill as well, to make use of the Dizzies having +1 to wound, but obviously that won't help. So,
well, the good thing about that situation,
not fighting optimally.
The good thing about that situation is that if you lose, you can be like, oh well, my trade wasn't optimized.
Yeah.
And if you win, you can be like, oh, my superior generalship led me to win despite the odds.
Despite the odds.
So either way,
just to say, I actually brought the wrong 2 flying bases. And Tim knows I have painted base flying bases.
minus 10 points.
And you don't count bases, so Tim has been happy.
Well, viewers.
Well, he said before the battle, so if he wants to be a shifty motherfucker.
Well, viewers, I will leave it down to the chat.
No, I'll tell you what. Absolutely. Pause the camera, and I'll drive back to Manchester.
That will be a 2-hour round trip. I'd rather just take 10 points of you. Joking. Jokes aside, guys. I don't count flying bases. We don't base these ones. Why would we base
Everything
these
else
ones?
in the army's based, painted, washed.
And yeah, absolutely. So look, I don't think it'll make a difference anyway, but it will be amusing if at the end of the game it would have made a difference.
I'm beating you by 9 points.
Yeah, he's beat me by 9 points. Then I go 10 points. Then technically I win.
It doesn't bother me.
That'll be a joke, obviously.
Obviously, I would have the bases with me.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there we go, guys.
It's a way disadvantage, isn't it? I've got to drive to you. So.
Yeah, exactly. You should have plus 10 points for travelling.
Thank you.
There you go. So it's my house. My rules. Yeah.
And it's stuff that doesn't even take part in the game.
I've got a cat plus 5 points.
Yeah. Exactly. I took my shoes off when I came in.
Very respectful. Yeah. So there we go, guys. I know we've had a bit of a preamble, bit of a chat about the armies, but there you go. So Pure Infantry Guard versus
Pure
Witch Cult Drukhari. Let's see what the field of battle looks like after deployment. So here we are, the field of battle after deployment. The serried ranks of the Mordian Iron Guard, ready to repel the vicious invaders of the Drukhari. This is the second time these two foes have faced each other. The first time it was a simple raid. Now it is a full-on incursion by the Dark Elder.
It wasn't as simple as the Drukhari thought. They got massacred.
It wasn't as simple as last time the Drukhari turned up, maybe a little bit arrogantly with not as much as they needed. This time they've got all dem bikes and they've got flyers somehow flying in the underhive. We won't question it too much.
They're good.
They're good.
You thought test of skill wouldn't have mattered this battle.
Test of skill. Clearly, this is a test of their skill to fly in the underhive. So we'll go through deployment quickly, and then we'll just go through some our initial thoughts around deployment. So our first game of 9th. Well, Johnny's had a couple of practices. My first game of 9th. So we've got both Razor Wing jet fighters here, ready to screech down the board. We've got a unit of bikes which are currently out in the open.
Or are they?
Or are they? And then we've got a Venom with the... It's got the
5 Cult of Strife guys in.
The token Cult of Strife guys in. And then we have 2 units of bikes. Raider full of witches, Raider full of witches, and Killbots and characters down here. Moving over to the Mordians, we have a big blob of infantry here, mixture of flamer infantry. I deployed these guys and then forgot, oh yeah, one of my regiment traits is Wilderness Survivors, so I'm already in cover, but I'd already deployed them at that point, so they're extra covered. And then over here we have more infantry, so I'll go through what they've got. We've got a flamer squad, another flamer squad, a plasma squad, couple of heavy bolter fire support squads, plasma veterans hiding behind the Bulgrins. Might be using that wall of meat stratagem to give them -1 if needed. And then we've got another couple of fire support squads, missile launchers and grenade launchers, las cannon, grenade launcher, another plasma squad here, the Ogrins. Just so you guys are aware, Priest is tucked in there, Ashtaprath is tucked in there, Commissar is tucked in there, another Priest is tucked in there, another Commissar, and then another character. I've been super paranoid about Johnny sniping my characters out with the new Lookout Sir rules. Finally, I've got the mortars, and then actually, surprisingly, I managed to cram 3 infantry squads over here. A flamer, a plasma, and a heavy bolter. And in there, you can see, is the junior officer. In reserve, I have another junior officer with the outflanking veterans. Those of you that have seen this army in play before know that's my standard tactic with them. So my relic is the Dagger of Tusaka, which allows me to outflank an officer and 1 infantry. So that is deployment. We are playing Retrieval Mission, which is the first mission out of the rulebook. If you want to see the second mission out of the rulebook, Johnny's battle report, which we'll be doing right after this one, will be up on his channel at the same time I post this one. Yes. So you'll be able to get 2 battle reports on the same day.
Yes.
And we'll be linking each other's battle reports, so it'll be easy as pie for you to find them.
Simple click.
Simple click. So for those that don't know what Retrieval Mission is, because 9th edition is new and scary, 6 objectives, equally spaced out, predetermined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You score 5 points for controlling 1 objective, which we should both be able to do. And then
your command phase. And
in your command phase.
Start of the second turn.
At the start of the second turn. So 5 points for each objective, 5 points for 1 objective, 10 points to 2 objectives, and then 15 points a turn if you just control more objectives than the opponent, isn't it?
I'm having doubt. Have I missed? Because there's some of it...
No, I read it. That was so right. We've double checked, we were correct. You can't score in the first turn. No primaries in the first turn. You can score your secondaries, obviously, from the moment the game gets going. So how you score is, like I said, 5 points if you control 1, 10 points if you control 2, 15 points if you control more
than your opponent.
And then for secondaries, we both umdrado with secondaries, because to be honest, none of them really appealed, even against me with my many bodies. Thin the Ranks wasn't that appealing for Johnny, but I think you've gone for it anyway, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gone for it because I didn't really have a choice.
So, Johnny, what are your secondaries today?
So I'm going for Assassinate, which is 3 points for every character that I kill.
And I have 10 characters, so that should be doable.
If I can kill half your characters, that's 15 points. I have gone for... What's the hold your ground? What's it called?
Raise the banners?
No, the one where you hold objective quarters.
Oh, you've gone on for engage on all fronts.
Engage on all fronts, which means that I score...
You score 2 victory points if you have a unit in 3 table quarters, 3 separate units. You can't string one out.
Not including 6 into the centre.
Not 6 in the centre, and then you score 3 points a turn if you can get 1 in each table quarter.
Indeed.
And flyers weirdly do count for this.
They do count. We double checked.
We double checked. We were both
behind enemy lines, all kinds of stuff. They don't. Apparently they do if you engage in all fronts. I guess you're engaging. You're not holding.
So assassinate, thin the ranks, and engage in all fronts.
Yes.
I
don't expect much from thin the ranks despite having over 100 men. It's like, oh, killed 100 infantrymen, 10 points.
Oh, well done.
Oh, you based all your army, 10 points.
Yes, Johnny is rather salty over the...
Well, it's the same for you. I just think I'm not salty. I think it's stupid. I think rewarding people...
That's the definition of salty, guys.
No, as in like... I think if it was 1 point, it'd actually be really cool because, like, if it's
a tiebreaker.
There's so much variables in how you score. It's so unlikely to draw in this edition.
Yeah.
But if you did, it'd be like, well, fair enough. You've got your army painted and base, so
the other guy doesn't.
You technically win. But 10 points means it's the same as. So I've got 5 vehicles on here. you have to kill every vehicle to get 10 points.
Yeah.
It's only worth 2 points each.
Yeah, so I did go for, because it was really, Johnny's army is very difficult to sort of pick what to score against, I did go for bring it down, because I thought, I'm going to struggle to max out any of these, but if I can kill, you know, a raider, a venom, and a raider, and then maybe a plane, that's still 8 points, which is pretty good. And then I also went for raise the banners high, and I went for engage in all fronts as well, because I can move, so I'm pretty confident on that one. So that is it. Now, quick tiny bit of feedback before we get right into the game. Me and Johnny have both agreed that we're not massive fans of the new terrain rules, simply because when we were setting this up, we couldn't, using the Games Workshop predefined traits, so, you know, this would be industrial, this would be ruins. This could be barricades. We couldn't set the board up, even when we did it symmetrically, that was balanced for both sides.
There's always going to be a benefit to one army over the other.
So,
because you have to agree it.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, I suggest this is a ruin.
Because it's good for me.
That benefits you because X, Y, and Z. How about this is obscuring? Well, no, thank you, sir, because
that stops 50% of my army from shooting.
Yeah, so it's just so it's perfect for a tournament organizer because you can go through and
put a little flag on each one
and decide what is what.
Yeah.
But if it's two people meeting up, even me and my bro, you know, imagine if it was some stranger you didn't know, you could spend literally half an hour.
Yeah, we spent 20 minutes trying to work it out because we wanted to produce a good battle report. So we were like, but this isn't fair, this advantages the guard too much. So we just decided, you know what, screw GW. Technically, none of this is Games Workshop terrain, so we can give it whatever traits we want. It's our house, our rules. You know, play it your way. We'll do Games Workshop.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do
is the suggestion I've taken out of the terrain section.
So this is just going to count as soft cover. This is going to count as everything soft cover apart from in the middle where we've called it soft and dense cover.
So -1 shooting through it.
Because we didn't want to be like, oh, we're just going to stick with 8th edition. We were like, let's sprinkle, let's season some 9th in there.
We're going to put obscuring in the centre because we appreciate that, you know, obscuring in the centre. That's what it's there for. The obscuring was basically there to put obscuring terrain in the centre, but Tim didn't want to. I mean...
Well, how it worked was, I was like, this should be dense cover. And Johnny was like, but then if I move my bikes into it, I don't get +1 to my save. It should be obscuring. And I was like, but then you can put your bikes behind it at 0 risk, and then I can't shoot them, and then you screw me. So it was like...
That's the point.
But it was like, it was too much in one person's favour or the other. So in the end, we were like, let's compromise. You get cover from that, and you can have your -1 from that. It benefits both sides, benefits the bikes, benefits the guard. All happy, not too strong for either person. So we did have to spend 20 minutes. So if I might say, insert SpongeBob insert SpongeBob meme, but the game will be faster.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Back and forth wasn't either. And so by the end, the last couple of units, it's exactly the same as sort of 7th and previous editions, and even 8th I think had alternating at the beginning.
Oh yeah, the alternating was. Johnny deployed 3 units before he realised that he should be alternating.
Wait a minute. Well, you know where they're going to be now. But regardless, once you're used to it, it's still a bit back and forth. And you get a bit of deployment fatigue. Like your last couple of when you're setting your whole army up, you can just set it up in like a format.
Yeah.
When you're setting it back and forth, by the end, you're just like,
I can't be bothered. Slam that one down.
Can go there. Like, let's crack on. I'm bored now.
Right. So that's our little rant. It's not call it a rant. That's our genuine feedback.
We had to hammer it out. We are using different terrain rules, and they will be useful, and it will be called obscuring and all this kind of stuff. So we had to hammer it out and find what worked for us, and we suggest you do the same.
Absolutely.
Hammer it out, find what works for you. But, you know, probably communicate the terrain or sort of what you're thinking about before you meet up with the person.
Yeah, which is so dumb.
Yeah, like, by the way, I don't really like using this rule and this rule. Is that cool with you? Or, it's impossible. How do you... Because that just sounds like you're being gamey before you even turn up when you're not. You're just... a genuine opinion.
I think it should be soft cover and -1. That should be the only traits you need.
Yeah, that's all the traits
That's what we've gone for.
The limit on -1 is pissed me off. So.
Anyway... We're now going to roll off, see who wins the game. I mean, goes first.
Yeah.
So let's see how it goes.
Come on.
I've rolled a 3.
Come on.
50-50 chance.
3.
You rolled a 3. So
+1 for finishing deploying first. I would have gone first.
3. So let's see what the next one is. A 6. This is a 1. So I'm going to go first because if I don't, I have a really strong feeling I'm going to get corralled. So I doubt I'm going to do that much damage turn 1. But at least I'll actually...
Quite far back.
Johnny has counter deployed. I was like, nah, at the front. So we'll see how it goes after the guard turn 1. And what we're going to do, guys, we're going to do a couple of turns each. Then we'll get at the end of turn 3, we'll do a midway feedback, and at the end of turn 5, we'll do our usual end game summary. Yeah. So we will be back at the end of the guard turn 1. Right. So the Imperial Guard turn 1 was kind of interesting. I feel like I basically didn't really have turn 1, and thus I will now lose when Johnny has pseudo turn 1. But we'll see how it goes. So this squad ran over here to get into, and then moved, and managed to get into that table quarter. And the same thing happened.
Eager for a little bit of butt play.
Eager for a bit of butt play, yeah. And so I like butt stuff. So, and then this squad did the same thing, which meant I then had units in all 4 table quarters. So I did get 3 points for engaging all fronts. Ha! Take that, internet, saying you could never get 3 points for it.
Twah! Don't know, that's not French.
This guy. Then I raised the banners on these 3 units here. 1, 2.
Whilst simultaneously
and the commander
giving orders and shooting with the units.
So he made a slight mistake with the units. Johnny's been very nice to me this game because I honestly am my first game of 9.
Struggling.
So this unit was fine. They didn't shoot. This unit, I said I'm raising the banners, then proceeded to shoot, and then was like, oh no, I'm not. But then we all worked all out.
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
Yeah, you cannot shoot.
2 wounds to a clawed fiend. Gave the 2
yeah,
wounds
we did
back.
2 wounds, gave 2 wounds back, no worries. So you can't shoot. And then this guy, I was like, I'll be super sneaky. Orders aren't like anything, so I'll sit on the banner and raise orders. And Joe was like, you can't do that. And I was like, damn! So I didn't get to do the orders with this. This is the whole point of this officer. So he's not doing great this turn. You can imagine he's all puffed out from raising the flag.
Yeah.
So I've raised 3 banners, and then I was like, oh, sweet, 3 points at the end of my turn 1. And Joe's like, you get it in the command phase. Hurriedly check the book, and I was like,
I would say it's really nice to be the guy saying, by the way, you can't do that.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, lesson here, kids.
My rules lawyer erection is only marginally behind my dark elder
strap on, yeah.
Strap on, yeah.
So lessons learned. Read your rules, kids.
I love how the GW are trying to like brush the whole sex cult thing under the carpet with Slanesh or with Drukhari or anything like that. They're like
but we know
struggle to deal with Slanesh in the modern rule set. They're like, Death Guard you get a codex. You know, the Khorne, you've got your Tzeentch guys, and then Slaneshi armies, it's kind of like, we'll give you a fancy special edition Noise Marine with a guitar mounter, but
it's all on the music.
Less of those nibble clamps.
So
and we're just like, sex everywhere.
So just going over the rest of the turn, sadly we do have to be slightly professional.
Just getting excited for
moving advanced these guys up to this terrain, moving advanced these guys up to this terrain, and then my shooting phase, even though I had moved the heavy weapon, was shooting with dense terrain and shooting at a flyer, only -1 to hit against planes, baby!
It's so frustrating as a Drukhari.
So
being max -1 and everyone being able to shoot with heavy weapons, and most people getting -1 a lot of the time from whatever.
Rage! So
I mean, I'm enjoying the game, but there's just so many points where you're like looking at it from an 8th perspective and you're like, oh, this is annoying.
Buggered. So the last cannon, out of the missile, 2 missile launches of the last cannon, the missile launcher struck home on a 6, then got the wound. Johnny didn't get a save because he's only got 4 save on his plane. Yeah. And then I got 5 wounds with a command point reroll. So
5 of Pinvun.
Did you have 5 Pinvun? Oh, we didn't roll that, did we?
No.
Got a 1.
Dice gods don't like the time travel.
If 5 wounds, so it was, so it shall be. So remaining and low. So remaining shooting was fairly sparse, to be honest. Mortars, combined fire. I used a CP for concentrated fire, which lets me get +1 to hit, +1 to wound. So no point in John using lightning fast reflexes because I was already shooting through the terrain.
I just don't know what to spend my CP on.
So I managed to kill a bike, and then the second with the concentrated fire squad, second mortar squad rolled poorly, didn't do anything. And yes, that's true. Johnny's pointed something out important to me. So, and then last but not least, the Master of Ordnance called in his once per game bombardment, another CP to get the maximum 6 shots, and I just obliterated. I wasn't that lucky, but I did just obliterate a Clawed Fiend.
And lastest but not leastest.
Lastest but not leastest.
You tried to cast a Psychic Power.
I tried to do Psychic Power to be like, Ultra Bulgrins, low, and Johnny was like, the extremely obscure relic, which...
Helm of Spite.
Helm of Spite. Basically, he gets to deny it, and if he does deny it, he pels me, and I only rolled a 7, he rolled an 8, so Matt Ashbath has actually taken 2 wounds, wounds, and we'll put a marker on it now.
I don't have the triptych whip.
He almost died
I've
from
never taken
it.
the triptych whip before, and I always have the Helm of Spite, and I realised I haven't got two.
Let's tailoring, change it at the last moment.
I've got the succubi with the Helm of Spite.
Let's change it at the last moment.
No, not at all, not at all. That's literally every game I've ever played for 18 months. I've had that relic.
Oh, well, considering the last 6 months we've been in lockdown, don't really count that data. I'm just taking the piss.
I just got confused with the 3 patrols, alright? I just got confused with what I have.
Yeah.
I had points for Lilith and I just switched her in, but yeah.
So, long story short, guys, I've raised 3 banners. I'm in 4 table quarters. I've killed 2 Clawed Fiends on a bike and done 5 wounds on a plane. That is my turn.
Everyone's been very nice to each other.
Everyone's been very nice to each other because
forgiving.
Exactly. So that is the end of Guard turn 1. Now let's see what happens with Drukhari turn 1.
Right.
So we're back at the end of Dark Elder turn 1. Now, as Games Workshop told us, guys, the game will be quicker. But you know, with all the special rules and the different interaction with the terrain and everything, Johnny had a 2-hour first turn. He says it's only an hour and a half. I now feel like I can take my pension out, so we'll see. But
there's a lot of targeting.
There's a lot going on.
And, like, the combats took us a lot longer, and like
there's a lot going on.
I don't think it's 9th. I think it's just the fact that we're learning the rules.
Maybe, but I like to you know, blame 9th for all my problems in life. So there we go. Hashtag blame 9th.
Hashtag blame 9th.
So
yeah, it was a good turn.
Long story short, the plane that was damaged flew over that way, and took some guys off the veterans. This plane came this way and took some guys off the veterans with it, but this was both with missiles and splinter. And then all dizzies and multiple plasma grenades and blaster pistols. So much went into the Bullgrins. And Johnny learned how tough Bullgrins are. Because even with... I put a take cover on so they plus 1 to their armor save, and it was just really difficult.
You didn't get the take cover off because I...
No, take cover is my stratagem for 1 CP.
Yeah.
Now that was partly because my Bullgrins are super tough, and it's partly because Johnny's shooting phase was abysmal.
Absolutely.
But he did manage to pull it back in the combat phase. So in combat, these guys were trickled down. 2 were killed in shooting, and then 4 were killed in combat.
I lost 3 on Overwatch.
He lost 3 on Overwatch because I spent 1 CP for Overwatch, and the Flamer kicked in and killed 2, and then a Lasgun killed another. That really helped because that meant that they took way less casualties, and I'm now contesting this objective with Johnny. In terms of morale, just before I forget, I spent 1 CP for the guard fight to the death on them, so they managed to pass it, which was good. Over here, the Ogrins just got... they actually survived most of the shooting, but...
Yeah, phenomenally.
I think 1 died in shooting, but then they just got absolutely dogpiled by 2 units of bikes, and the AP -1 in combat on them was really good. And they actually took some mortal wounds as well. The only unit that did take mortal wounds. So they were killed down to 2, and then they failed the leadership, and 1 ran away. And unfortunately, the other one didn't run away because they were below half strength. And a 1 or a 2, I could have run, but I got a 4, so it was okay.
So it stayed, which I wanted to. I kind of didn't want to risk getting blanked.
Over here, the Bullgrins, like I said, they survived pretty much intact on the shooting phase. I think I lost 1. The bikes came in.
I placed them here for movement.
Johnny placed them here. Even with a reroll, he got a really shocking charge distance, and he was able to kill the 2 characters for his assassinate, which was good. But the bikes bounced off the Bullgrins, the Clawed Fiend, the Beastmaster, all bounced off, and then Drozar killed 1, and Lilith.
Bring it around. Drozar's here.
Drozar killed 1, and then Lilith was able to kill another and wound a final 1. So.
And you got lucky on you got 2 6s on your save for Drozar because he got 2 6s to wound, which goes from 2 damage to 4 damage, and then Tim got 6s on both of those saves, so he didn't take the 4 flat.
And then the 1 that I failed was 2 damage, so I was kind of okay with that.
Yeah, it was very. We both got really lucky. And it came to nothing.
And the last thing I would say is this Guardsman squad predictably got butchered, but that's fine. They did their job for me there. So overall, the Guard have lost 3 Bullgrins, 5 Ogrins. The veterans got chewed down by spare firepower. I forgot to use my -1 Shield of Flesh stratagem. Stupid. The only reason they were on the board was because of that, and I failed to use it. Otherwise, I would have outflanked them. And I lost another squad. So there we go. So overall, not a bad turn for the Dark Elder. They've locked a lot up in combat. Johnny's going to just check if I can still fall back normally against these bikes, because they are witches.
I wish,
I can if I wish. Okay, I probably will fall back with them. you might want to like.
I was gonna just go, and then just
Okay.
duck.
All right. Well, Joey's going to wrap me there. Then I might desperate break out. I might not. I'll probably still be able to get out with the priest, but probably not the Ogren's fat base. But yeah, let's see what happens going to guard turn 2. So at the beginning of my turn, before I forget, I will get 3 points for the banners.
At the end of my turn, I got 3 points for each character, which
Yeah,
goes up to 6, and then I engaged in all fronts for an additional 3.
So far, the points at the
end of round 1.
The end of round 1 are 9 to the Dark Elder, 3 to the guard, but the guard are immediately going to get 3 points for raising the banners. So it's not too bad. And also the guard,
raise that banner.
and also the guard are currently holding more objectives than the Dark Elder because I'm holding 1, 2, 3, and then I'm contesting this one. Both got one guy within 3 inches, so I will get a big suckle of primary. But I think that's probably the only turn I'm ever going to be able to do that. So let's see.
I wasn't even thinking about that. Fair enough.
So the Dark Elder have really smashed it on the secondaries. Got all their points on secondaries, more than me. But I've done quite well on the primaries. But we'll see how it stands at the end of the guard turn 1.
Yeah.
Wow, what a big scoring round for the guard and a huge counter attack. We'll go into it in detail now. So. The moving phase, everyone just moved up 6 inches. We just wanted to make sure that we could just get as much guys into rapid fire range in the units that we could target as possible. And so as you can see, the general line has moved up. And so what we did shooting wise was a combination of fire from this squad, and these heavy bolter squads were able to down the raider, which
Although it took a while because of the -1 to hit.
Took a raider. I think he used lightning fast reflexes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, because Johnny hasn't got a lot to spend his lightning fast on. It was literally the only unit he could do it on.
Dark Elder, I have to say, it's a little. It seems a little silly if you can run with a rocket launcher, and then because there's so much terrain which causes -1 to hit, or so many ways to get -1 to hit now, that essentially it's like, right, fuck it, I'll just run with this rocket launcher and pop a shot and it's not a negative.
Yeah.
So 2 CP for -1 to hit with lightning fast reflexes is just way too much now, because there's so many ways to get -1 to hit, and it never gets better than that.
Yeah.
It should be 1 CP, but it's a little annoying, but what can you do? So yeah, you wrecked him as you should have done over time, which took a lot of shots.
And then, the plasma went in. The veterans came in, unfortunately, with the -1 to hit. They just kept exploding, but they did manage to get 6 wounds through, and then it was a lot of lasguns, just one squad plinked off a wound, one squad plinked off a wound,
and
one squad plinked off a wound.
Actually melted himself.
Yeah, another plasma guy melted here. So 4 infantry squads plinked off a wound each, which got it. The veterans took off 6 wounds, which was all right. And then what happened was the missile launcher squads and the las cannon team and a crack grenade from the Lord Commissar were actually able to bring down the wounded flyer, which was pretty good.
It will be -1 to hit. You moved, but you can't have a max of more than -1, so you hit with that rocket launcher. Basically, you are running and shooting with a rocket launcher
at a plane.
At a plane is as likely to hit as just shooting at a plane.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Then the second, so that was 2 vehicles down. So that was 4 points for Big Game Hunter. And then all my other units that weren't engaged, none of them were engaged in combat. The other units, plus the mortars, which I spent a CP on, blasted this raider.
+1 hit, +1 wound on the mortars.
Yeah, +1 to hit, +1 to win the mortars again. Concentrated fire. So long story short, all the remaining squads plus the mortars were able to kill the next raider, and a guy died who fell out of that, and 2 guys died who fell out of that raider. And then, funnily enough, that bolt pistol which I paid for, which said, I'd rather have a bolter, but he's got a bolt pistol, just blew the face off a witch in combat, which was quite nice.
You get a 6 up invuln
against shooting attacks. Even if I'm in combat. Yeah. So, yeah, that was.
So much can shoot in combat that I'm starting to sweat, but thank God I've not seen it with any vehicles yet.
And that was actually a key manoeuvre, because it allowed the guard to get a big score on the primary.
Because I managed to kill. I got 4 wounds through, but you actually
with your exploding 6s.
With exploding 6s, so I got 3 attacks. Actually got 3 hits. One of them being a 6, so 4 hits. Tim made a save on one of them.
You got 3? No, I didn't. You got 3 wounds.
Butchered 3 guys.
And 1 stayed. Even with the reroll to wound with the Hydra gauntlets, you still got a 2 roll into a 2.
Either way.
One guy lived. He had one guy lived. He had a 50-50 chance of making his morale. He got a 2. He's a happy chappy. So he stayed there, which allowed me to contest this objective from Johnny.
Which stops me getting 15 in my next turn.
Exactly. So so just little tangent there. So then the order went up across the guard line. Fix bayonets. Lord Commissar blowing his whistle. Fix bayonets, forward for the Emperor men. Glory to the first man to die. And they all charged in. It was actually pretty effective. So these 2 squads were able to...
you attacked with 1 squad, didn't you? And then I interrupted.
Oh yeah, so Johnny, I attacked with one of the squads over here against the slightly diminished bike unit.
But didn't do anything.
I think I might did a wound maybe. Then they interrupted and struck back against that squad and slaughtered them down to 7 guys.
Yes, slaughtered 7. I was going to interrupt the Drozar, but I thought there's no point, he hasn't charged. He's and it was good, as he was.
They lost 1 more. They would have failed the morale, but the Commissar blew the brains out of 1 and then they stuck, which was good.
So you got 1 plasma guy left in that squad.
And 1 sergeant with plasma pistol and power sword.
Okay.
And then it basically went back to all charges. So all these guys, this squad powered into this unit, was able to kill 1. This squad went into this bike unit and was able to kill 1. No, they didn't kill any, but the Lord Commissar was able to skewer 1.
Yeah.
Then in the back and forth, the ogre in here was able to kill another. So long story short,
you got out of 600, you made 4 6s with your priest.
Oh yeah, well, I was going to get that into a second. So what happened was, so after everything had fought into the diminished squad, the one that had taken a loss in turn 1, all that's left is 4 bikers from that unit. And 1 biker was killed from this unit. So there's 8 in 1 squad and 4 in another. And then Johnny got to go at one point and he struck into my priest with a lot of bikes, 4 bikes. And the priest, out of his 6 saves he had to make, got 4 6s and then 2 fails. So his Rosario is flashing into life. His faith is his shield. And then against the toughness 5 Ogre, if they get the wounds through, he's only got 6 of save. But it's really tough to slap attacks with that fucking meaty boy. So so that was the swirling melee on that side. Resulted in 1 bike squad being taken down to half strength and 1 bike squad losing a guy. The priest unfortunately wasn't able to do anything. And then this swirling melee, Johnny used lightning fast reflexes as a separate phase so he could do it. And he made it -1. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pay off.
The guard just butchered me.
The bayonet charge just went in. I pulled 2 bikes down. There were 3 left. And then I thought, you know what? The -1 to hit. I just need to kill bikes. Bikes are the main strength of this army. Every bike squad down or injured is a big deal. So I totally overkilled. I think it was one of those times where if I'd split my attacks, the dice gods would have punished me and I would have done nothing. But because I concentrated, the dice gods rewarded me.
Wounded with everything and just melted.
Even hit on 4s, the Bullgrins, yeah, they did really well. So they've. But the interesting thing is now that this Commissar Kylo coming to inspect the battlefield. So the interesting thing is now is that because this Bullgrin had to die, because he was wounded when Johnny struck back, which means next turn they won't be in the priest's aura. They've been tagging that priest's aura. So just so you know, they're going to get a lot less potion now. They're going to have 5 less attacks in that unit, plus the 1 that died there. And this guy took a wound from the various counter attacks. Now, I can't remember exactly who did what wounds to the Bullgrins.
Stab 1, but
oh yeah, Droz
up. Again, you got good passes on him.
Yeah.
Blocking those.
The combination,
those shields.
Yeah, the combination of just taking things on the 2+ until it dies, and then it's like conveniently just as the 2+ guy dies, Johnny then goes for like AP -4 guys, but the 2+ guy died, which would have been 2+ armor save guy dies, so then it goes on to the power shield guy.
I knew
They're dead hard. They're dead hard. They are.
We are being careful, and the ones you've allocated to someone, you keep allocating it to him until he's dead.
Yeah, one thing I would say, guys, it's really interesting with the way you allocate wounds. It used to be you allocate a wound until that attack sequence has ended, and then you can allocate them again to whoever you want. Now in 9th, at the beginning of a phase, once you have begun allocating wounds to a model, you must continue to allocate wounds to it throughout the entire phase until it dies, which I didn't realise. So I was like, oh, it's a new model attacking, I'll put it on an armor save guy because you've got no AP. And Joe's like, no, you've got to put it on another guy.
Yeah, I know because I run Death Watch with Storm Shields and all kinds of bits and bobs, and I now know that essentially you can bait out the Storm Shields.
Yeah.
Make him save a last cannon hit on that Storm Shield and then just hit him with your last guns.
Last guns, yeah.
Finish him off because,
So at the end of... So swirling melee, great shooting phase for the guard. At the end of it, we actually scored a lot of points. So we got our 3 for Raise the Banners, and then we got 6 for Big Game Hunter at the end of that. And then I got another 2 for Engage in All Fronts, because this guy, not only is he stopping that from being scored by the Dark Elder, but he's also in another table quarter, so I'm engaging on all fronts. So that's another 2 points for that. And then that was all my secondaries, and then because I controlled more objectives than Johnny, and I controlled 2 objectives or more, I got 15 points. So that's really boosted me up. So the total points at the end of guard turn 1 is 15...
Don't worry about the totals.
The total, it's 21, 27, 29 points to the guard.
Which is fluctuate depending on what you do though, so let's just...
Yeah, so we'll see how the Dark Elder pull it back in their turn 2.
Okay.
So, very interesting turn for the Drukhari.
Very interesting.
They killed a bit, but what they really did is just go for dem points. So we'll go over the turn now.
Can you start with my MVP?
Oh yeah, ironic MVP. So this Razor Wing fighter turned from there, came over to here, shot everything into the veterans and killed 1 guy.
Yeah.
So that's a good 150 point unit.
He got 6 shots off with his missile and still didn't.
Yeah. Well, the fact that veterans were in cover really helped because they just got the cover thing all the time.
Fucking 6 dizzy shots.
Yeah.
So.
The dizzies, I always thought dizzies were strength 6, but they're not. They're strength 5. So when Johnny rolled those 3 twos, I was like, "Oh, sweet, you killed them." But he was like, "Nope."
No, I didn't.
Over here, Johnny's really gone for the assassination. So this succubus went into this Lord Commissar and did 2 wounds to him. I was pretty... they're not as killy now. It's just...
just because I can't take... Because of the obsessions that I have to take these days.
Because of Johnny's obsession. She's really good at just taking on big old vehicles and creatures and stuff, but she's just
not great at anything now. She's basically a 60, 70 point...
Tax.
Well, not tax.
Patrol tax.
She's there.
Point is that she wasn't able to kill Lord Commissar, and in return he actually did really well. 3 hits, 3 wounds, and he got 2 through. So fair play to it. Yeah. Over here, these guys assassinated this officer, so that was another 3 points for Johnny.
Did you do your attacks over here? Oh yeah.
I didn't do it. Johnny, in return, all my little attacks back. Johnny just saved all his 4-ups. Yeah. So his saves just really came into his own this turn. But to be fair, there were only 3 attacks back for me, so I'm not too upset.
1 feel no pain on my witches.
Yeah, so from a lot of guardsmen attacks.
Yeah. So that tells you how lucky I was.
The bikes, I should say, the bikes over here, they flew up. They had a terrible shooting phase. They only killed a mortar, I think 1 mortar squad, and then they flew in. Mortal wound. They killed 1 mortar base in shooting. They mortal wound another mortar base, and then they just
with grav talons,
and then they just sliced. They stabbed them. Just
and the reason I wanted to do that is
it's a little dip.
I historically rely on my Beastmaster dropping off the beasts and then holding objectives and the venom over there, but they're really not resilient. And because he's not got anyone near him, look out, sir! I can't just survive now. So I had to take those mortars down so I can hold my own objectives. The guard just mercilessly. Dark Elder can't. So no Dark Elder can really survive a mortar barrage unless it's Talos, and I don't run Talos. So
that's true.
There we have it. I had to do it.
So I think over here, these witches again. The shooting wasn't very good. I made all my Rosaria saves, and then Johnny was like, "Screw it! I'm just gonna go in there and stab him up," and went in there and stabbed him up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't make any combat saves. And then over here, Johnny's 4 guys were able to kill another officer.
Two guys
killed an officer, and then another 2 guys.
I think I just killed 2 infantry.
Killed 2 infantry, yeah. In return, I put a wound on the bikes with my Ogren. But then all my infantry, again, Johnny he was really good on those saves.
And I'd killed the priest at that point.
Yeah, so I've lost both priests, so my army's really lost a lot of its combat punch, so I think I'm really going to struggle to actually grind it out with these Dark Elder now.
I engaged enough characters to kill 7 throughout the game, but I failed to kill 2 because I failed to kill this guy, and then I didn't actually need to attack that guy over there.
Oh, yeah.
So I have maxed out my assassinate.
Yeah.
Killed off 5 characters. That's 15 points.
Yeah.
So I can't score any more for that.
Because Johnny had maxed out his assassinate, what he actually did was then put all his all of his attacks into the veterans here and killed like 4 of them.
And then you struck back with 2 power swords.
But power swords being basically a downgrade versus witches.
4-point downgrade. Just getting a less attack.
I've always said
brutality.
not against witches, but against 8th in general. I always said 8th was just too liberal with the invulns.
There's so many invulns out there that power swords are a gamble on whether you're paying 4 points to lose an attack.
You better. Well, I will say more often than not.
Chainswords, like
more often than not, in most armies I face, my power swords are a downgrade.
Get this. So if I'm in the assault phase with Astartes assault intercessors now, I'll be on AP -2 with an extra attack.
Yeah.
And this power sword's AP is -3. And loses an attack, so there's nothing in it. Like
no advantage to it, to be honest. The one highlight for the guard was I was just like, I'm just sick of this Lilith just like skipping around, doing acrobatic, like jumping over the head of an ogre, slicing a vein here, gouging an eye there. So my Bulgar is just.
You could tell there was some kind of fly or insect buzzing around them. She had like 2 wounds in turn.
So my Bulgrins were literally like after they like smash, and there was like smashing bikers off the seats. Lilith just after finally landed on the ground just in front of these ogres, they all looked at her and were like smash, and they just absolutely beat her to a pulp. These Bulgrins have been incredible. Eyes are open. You see them on paper, you think they're good. You see them on the battlefield, you fall in love with them. Yeah.
It's like hardened warheads for the tower. I read hardened warheads, and I was like, that seems like a pretty good trait, and I can pick another one on top. It's not too. And then you use hardened warheads, and you're like, Jesus, titty fucking Christ.
So
Emperor.
So at the end of that round, Johnny got max points for his assassinate. He got 10 points. 10 points for primary because he holds 3, but he doesn't hold more than me.
And then I've got uno, dos, tres, cuartos.
Yeah.
For Margie.
Yeah. So what he means by that is he's got a unit in that table quarter, a unit in that table quarter, a unit in that table quarter, and a unit in that table quarter. So outside of the broken Latin, buongiorno, babdi bubbi.
I'm gonna have a quattro formaggio pizza for my dinner tonight.
Babdi bubbi. So what he means is he got an extra 3 points for engaging all fronts.
Maxing that out.
So, but to be fair, the Dark Elder looked a bit thin on the ground.
Very thin on the ground.
You know, I just want to. I mean, it's a bit difficult for the guard because I want to kill the Razor Wing, but the Razor Wing isn't that deadly.
Yeah.
So I actually want to kill the bikes. Is really what I want to go for. Just try and smash this primary.
Oh, we forgot to say the reason why I could pull out shoot and charge is because I spent 2 CP. And Dark out of a stratagem, and they can pull out a combat, shoot, and still charge.
Yeah.
Now. I have been raging. In fact, I have.
The salt man,
I have literally opened the front door and screamed into the sky with frustration because these bikes, like I've got 27 bikes in my army, and it seems like
you can't fall back and shoot.
You can't fall back and shoot.
It just cripples the whole army.
It just cripples my entire army. It's very stressful, but you know we're getting there.
Stressful times.
Stressful times indeed.
Yeah, it has been. I've been super calm. I've been super calm, and Johnny has been salt master extraordinaire.
And it's just the fact that I can't. Bikes should be able to hit and run, get in there. If something's tricky, they pull out and shoot it from afar. Now they just can't do that, and it's just very much making me sweat. But I am managing.
Sad times.
Yeah. I mean, it's
mucho sadness, gracias.
The free love of 8th edition has gone, and we're now to the economic crash.
The door's been kicked down. Reality has come through the door. No more free love, no more Woodstock.
It's good. I like the scoring system. I really like the sort of fact that you can pick stuff.
I'm not sure. I think these secondaries are all a bit wank, to be honest.
I mean, I like it in principle because I play Malifaux, and I really like the idea of picking your secondaries after you know what your opponent's got and that. But I think it's clever. I think it's like being adaptable, but it's a lot. It's just a lot more complicated game. I said in one of my videos, what James GW are trying to do, James Workshop, reduce the difficulty curve so that new players don't get beaten up so much, so that it's you're more likely.
I think the second is a bit tough.
And I think this is way more complicated. 8th is complicated.
8th is normal.
No, I mean,
9th is complicated.
9th is complicated. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up. 9th is very complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you can't do when you think you can.
Just picking up these, I don't mean anything. So anyway, that is guard turn. Dark Elder turn 2. So into guard turn 3. So we'll see what we can do. I'd like to kill a few more bikes. And then just keep on racking down points.
We've got Drozar and 1 Clawed Fiend left.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Bulgarians will just keep bashing a character a turn, bash the fash, and then, although I am the fash, and then I just kind of need to kill these. Once those bikes are done, there's little on the board. I have turns sort of 4 and 5 to start cleaning up, so we'll see what I can do. So a really interesting turn for the guard. I mean, there was some bullshit on my side, and Johnny had some bullshit, but overall I think it balanced out at a pretty average turn, pretty normal.
Yeah,
so
I'd say so.
This platoon moved into rapid fire range, loving the 18-inch rapid fire, and managed to kill off 3 bikes, basically 1 bike per squad, which is pretty good. And then Johnny did make his morale. I was hoping I'd get a few of them to run away, but they weren't interested in that. And then over here, the Lord Commissar killed a bike, and the Ogrin killed a bike, and then the Guardsmen were able to put 1 on 1 wound. So we've really chewed Johnny's bike down. From a starting number of 27, he's got 7 left.
Not bad. Which
is not bad at all, considering they're all toughness 5. They're all
2 wounds.
They're all 2 wounds. A lot of them have managed to hit most of the game.
I will spend that CP if I can.
Yeah, so it's been pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the Guardsmen there. In the back and forth, the rest of it was pretty much melee. Then there was some really crazy shooting. So these guys and this squad here managed to get into rapid fire range again, loving that 18-inch rapid fire of that Beastmaster, and because he was tucked in cover, he got a 4+ save. And Johnny must have made, I must have put 15 wounds on a 3-wound character, and Johnny just made all but 2. Like, you know what it's like when Johnny's in cover?
I had 1 left and I had 1 CP.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, are you sure you don't want to rack it up to 2 next turn? I was like, no.
No, so he would have died, but then Johnny spent his last CP on it, so fair enough. Then there's just a swirling melee. So like I said, over here, these guys were able to kill 2 witches from here, but in return they killed 5 back there. And then the bikes over here were able to kill a guardsman from this squad. The bikes aren't very good in combat, to be honest. I mean, Games Workshop thinks they're a combat
Games
unit.
Workshop, in their Drukhari reveal, were like, what units to watch? Dark Elder, they're so good at whipping onto objectives, and they're good in. It's like do you even witch, bro?
Do you even witch, bro? So it's been quite interesting because I have probably killed most of the witches in
Dark Elder
combat.
have a lot of points spent on their mobile shooting platforms. They pull out, they shoot, they then charge. If they've not pulled out of combat that round, they'll charge like weak units to finish them off, but they're really not there for actually fighting proper combat. They're there for bullying.
Yeah, and then
they've suffered not being able to pull out and shoot.
It's been your bikes have really been underperforming, considering they're the thing I was most afraid of.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens going forward.
Witches, on the other hand, have been.
Yeah. So
Drozar on the other side.
Drozar finally worked out that he can switch to double. He's just around there. Worked out. He realised he can switch to two blades. So. He doubled his attacks to 8, and then he was actually able to kill 2 Bulgarians, so he should be doing that from turn 1.
Yeah.
In return, the Bulgarians, I was like, I worked out, Drozar's got a 3-up.
2-up save.
2-up save in combat. I'd only put him to 3-up, so I was like, I'll just kill that Clawed Fiend. It's still a unit that can run interference.
And low, so it was written, so it was.
And I just beat the crap out of it. Really impressed with the Bulgarians, so I think they're probably going to go down next turn. And last but not least, the swirling melee over here. The witches kind of fluffed their attacks, and in return, the guardsmen were able to kill 2 witches, but the succubi was able to kill the last 3 guardsmen, protecting the Lord Commissar, who did fall back from combat. And then last, but absolutely not least, this officer shot 1 in the face, was last pistol and killed 1, and then power sworded, 4-point downgrade, killed another 1. But in return, this Hydra Gauntlet guy killed the sergeant there that had a power sword because he hadn't struck yet.
Don't care about officers anymore. I've done my assassinate. I've topped out. I could have racked up so many kills with my assassinate, but I've actually been like,
I've topped
get
out.
you Warlord, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get this guy, but I'm not gonna.
So at the end of this turn, the Dark Elder looking pretty thin. They've got 7 bikes.
Well, thank you. I've been on a diet.
He's got 7 bikes, 7 witches, a plane, and venom, and a couple of characters, but a couple of good characters. But that's it. Whereas the guard is still rocking full 30-man blob, another 20 there, another 20 between these 2. So we're looking at like 70 infantry, and we've still got a couple of Bulgarians in the fight as well. So yeah, the guard are looking. They've got more bodies, but both armies have battered each other. And I would say I thought this would be over turn 1, and it's actually much closer So we'll see how it goes. But we'll be back at the end of Dark Elder turn 3, and I just update on the points. The Guard have got 42 points at the end of that turn, I believe. Plus 10 for primary, because I wasn't able to kill this guy. So not 15, so plus 10 for primary. Plus 3 for engaging all fronts, because this guy lived. And plus 2 for engaging all fronts, and plus 3 for banners. So yeah, we're up to 42 now, I believe. Anyway, we'll be back at the end of Dark Elder turn 3. So the Golden Child unit of the Dark Elder, apparently, according to all the forums, this time racked up a mighty 3 guardsman kills. Oh yeah, boy!
I think he's killed about 5 guardsmen.
He's killed about, I think, and a veteran.
And a veteran.
Don't forget the veteran. So yeah, not all that great, to be honest. And then that was from this sort of blob platoon over here. Johnny was
definitely trying to stop him. Right,
he's trying to tear the flag down. But unfortunately, his bikes.
The rules, and it's actually really difficult to take one down.
When the Guard have got it up, it sounds rude, but it's staying up.
I don't think that's necessarily the case for other armies, but because you have to control.
I can chuck 30 bodies on an objective, and then it's mine, isn't it?
Forever.
Yeah. So the bikes came in. They fluffed their attacks. To be honest, once the dust had settled between all the bike shooting and combat and the plane, and absolutely everything had been resolved there with 3 guardsmen left. So I think 1 has died from this squad. So yeah, overall not ideal for the Dark Elder.
I mean, I'm impressed that the bikes have flown all the way across, taken out the back support, which kept this guy alive. He'd be dead by now. They've been vital, but terrible in their damage output.
Absolutely.
Drozar, bitch slapped.
Drozar did amazing. He should have been dual wielding the whole game. He just slaughtered those 2 balls. If he'd been doing that from the beginning, I think those Bulgarians wouldn't have lasted very long at all.
No.
So that was interesting.
Chances for 6s.
Yeah.
So stupid.
But we know that now. It's one of those people saying like, you want to do big hits for big units, big beats all the time.
That's the Big Beats manifesto.
But then we realised it's just better. It's just better to always put out more attacks, especially when he's got his +1 to wound all the time because he's a Don. So
remember, kids, take your Hypex Ultra.
Take your Hypex Ultra.
He can fight as hard as Drozar.
Yeah, Hypex Ultra slaying Bulgarian since 2021. 2020.
Since M40.921.
Yeah. Sodate. So over here, Johnny sort of didn't go with his succubus for a bit, and that meant I was able to get both of my guardsman squads in, which meant I was finally able to just enough bayonets just jabbing at those witches, and he was doing really well against the first squad, but the second squad actually he failed 4 out of 5 saves. Didn't get any feel no pains, and it was just too many bayonets just jabbing at him.
Some failed saves with witches, so it all kept my chickens going to roost.
Yeah, that was nice that I was actually for once able to clear out a unit of witches just by just throwing enough attacks at them, which is kind of what you're meant to do. And then last but not least, over here, those witches killed that remnant squad. The Ogren wasn't able to do anything back to them, and then the Lord Commissar, one absolute hero, slew another bike and put a wound on another one. 4th or 5th bike he's killed, absolute hero. And then those guys there unfortunately weren't able to finish off the last bike. Johnny just managed to get in some lucky 4-up saves. I was unfortunate with my wounds as well. Big news though. The mano-a-mano battle has finally ended, and the junior officer won the battle of the butt plate.
So the 8-point witch.
Versus the 8-point witch. With his, but don't forget my officer did his 4-point downgrade with his power sword.
Yeah, that's true.
But I managed to get him, fortunately, which is really important because it means I can now hopefully threaten this little bozo over here.
A real game changer, that.
Yeah, real.
The fact that I couldn't tear that banner down, I think, has probably won the Guard the game. I've done everything I could try. Yeah. I've tried everything. I'm just banking on those that me getting some kills. But I think I kill 100 guardsmen, get 10 points. And, I don't think I'm gonna.
I think you'll be close.
I'm not many compared to my. If I had my Tau.
The annoying thing is that each Bulgarian is only 1 little minor point.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it should just be for each wound.
I think it should be for each
wound.
It makes so much obvious. Why would you make it per model and then vehicles are worth 10?
Anyway, so. We're going into the Guard turn 4 now. At the end of that round, we've still not taken into account the rank points. Johnny's on 44 points, and I'm on 42 points, but I think Johnny is now going to struggle on the primary. I might start pulling it ahead now. We'll see how it goes in Guard turn 4. So, Imperial Guard turn 4 completed. Pretty happy with the results. between fixed bayonets and just charging this unit in.
Inability to not wound.
So Johnny's toughness 5, just specifically against this squad, but more so in other areas as well, but really against this squad, I've just been wounding really well. I like wounding on 3s against them. And I've basically been saying like, oh, I've got the hit, so now the wounds will be fine. And it shouldn't be that way, but it's just the dice gods have just not been favouring this unit of bikes. So I managed to kill 3.5 of them between just fixed bayonets and then mass charging in and just remnant squads and everything.
You rolled 6. You got 6 hits at one point.
So I got 6 hits, 4 wounds, for example, with one squad. And then Johnny just failed, I think, all but one of his saves. So those bikes really have been cursed.
Crumble.
Totally crumble. Over here, the Lord Commissar came round the side and then charged it because he was unengaged from last turn, then came on the side and charged in. Unfortunately, his power sword arm was a bit tired, so he didn't actually get... He got 2 misses and didn't get a wound. But fortunately, these guys were able to kill the last bike because it only had 1 wound left. I had a big squad here who managed to plink off a wound from this and then charge into these witches. They failed to kill any, and then they all got butchered. And it was only the Ogre that managed to just slam one more. So Ogre just body slammed one more witch. It's pretty cinematic. This one Ogre literally has just been in that fight since turn 1. And has just managed to just survive and just one by one just like use his massive ripper gun and his big fist and just like punch one witch, punch a bike. It's been really cool. Over here, the succubus, we got a roll off and the guy got a 6 to get out and then Johnny rolled a 5, so I did manage to get out. Fortunately, it's really difficult to pull. First escape, really difficult to pull back against, but that was game changing because I was just able to gun her down with like a flamer. She would have taken 2 wounds, and then this squad was able to rapid fire because again, 18-inch rapid fire is really good. And I'd say last, but certainly not least, this squad. After using their flamer here, put everything else into this Beastmaster, and he finally went down. He did not want to go, but he finally went down. Just a hail of lasgun bolts. He actually had previously survived 3 grenade wounds from this guy, but just 2 under the direction of Lord Commissar Sobel. They did not let him down, and this Beastmaster was executed.
I got 10 points for primaries though, because it was 3 each at the start, wasn't it?
Is it not at the end for primary?
We've been through this several times.
That's alright, we'll work it. We're not keeping a tally of this point, so we'll just...
in your command phase for each.
Oh, it's in the command phase, is it?
So
alright,
yeah,
so I'd only get plus 10. I put plus 15, but I'd only get plus 10 if it's in the command phase. But I did manage to get plus 3 for engage because I've got him. My Lord Commissar's just in the right table quarter, and then I've got units in this table quarter and then in this table quarter as well. So plus 3 for that, and then plus 3 again for the banners. So banners is 12 for 12 at the moment, which is pretty good. So we'll see how. No, because you can't get in the first turn, so it's 9 for 9. So we'll see how it goes.
Raise the banner. Banner.
Raise the banner, yeah.
I'm just going to cross out banner and write RTB because that's what I've used on the
guy sheet. So there we go. So the Dark Elder looking a bit thin on the ground. They've got Drozar, they've got 2 witches, and a witch hiding, so 3 witches, 2 bikes, and a venom. But I think points wise, it could be interesting. Let's see what the Dark Elder get. They're going to get for primary. They're going to get plus 10 because they do hold 2 objectives. Could you hold this one?
I've never had a witch
and you hold this one.
An objective before at the back because you just can't see him. So
yeah. So
thank God for these 2 crates.
Yeah, man. So we'll see how it goes at the end of Dark Elder turn 4. So Dark Elder turn 4. They've killed loads of people, but they've not managed to root any guardsmen off objectives just yet. Big melee over here. These witches really went to town and were able to do a lot of damage to these guardsmen. And in return, they weren't able to do anything back. Really unlucky. However, over here, the farce continued with the guardsmen managing to, kill 1 bike and bring another down to 1 wound?
They killed 2 bikes, and there was 3 there or something. I can't remember.
It's 1.5 bikes.
I did nothing to you and you killed.
Hero of the match, though, is Drozar, who went in and slaughtered all 16 guardsmen. So there's just
15. He failed 1.
He failed 1. 15.
That is because he can break his glaive in half and attack twice for every attack, which gives him 8 attacks. 6 count, obviously, for double damage. And he can attack twice in the turn he charged, so I multi-charged, went 2 attacks counting as 4, 2 attacks counting as 4, and then the same
Did the same again, yeah.
Just wiped it.
So absolutely, he's an absolute...
I thought I'd torn this banner down, but when you've got bloody 200 guardsmen on the field, or look the bloody set,
yeah, well,
and you've got officers...
Johnny's faced it many times. Officers are always embedded in squads, makes them really difficult to dig them out, and it is a game-winning tactic, to be fair, because it does help you keep your banners going.
Literally, I thought he was a guardsman, and like even it's just you say, oh well, I told you already, but when you're keeping track of so many guardsmen who all look the same, it's impossible. So I think it's only fair to put a little like blue spot on the back.
I think going into future, I don't like putting different coloured bases on the squads because I like to mix and match squads.
Something standing
but with
out
the officers, I'm pretty happy to do like a little blue base or yellow base on the officers. It just throws you off.
You're trying to plan. You've got a lot to keep track of, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that man who looks basically to you, my opponent, the same as everyone else, is actually changing the game.
No, I get it, and I don't like that kind of
That's not
sneakery.
The way you like to play. You don't like sneakery.
But so
it wasn't intentional at all. It was my own fault. But it's when you a guard player, you don't appreciate how difficult it is to pick one man out from another.
So end of the Dark Elder turn there. They got another 13 points. We still haven't added on Thin the Ranks. I think Thin the Ranks is going to get it for you, dude. I think it's going to get it for you.
I really Drozar then. I mean, he got me a point.
Drozar got you a point. Yeah. So it's interesting. Beginning of the guard next turn though.
Sorry, we forgot about Golden Child MVP who managed to kill. No guards. One guard.
I think one.
Turn.
Yeah.
First only wins with the disease.
He's killed 6 guardsmen and a veteran this game. So
5 guardsmen and a veteran.
5
6
guardsmen.
kills.
Yeah, 6
he has
kills.
not earned.
But everyone on the forum says he's a great Johnny.
Well, they are supposed to be great. He's just a fucking knobhead.
I think you need to just put like some sort of just symbol on him, which just means like
an anti-kill.
Yeah, an anti-kill streak, a miss streak, a miss streak. I don't think there's enough room on the model for this game alone.
What a fucking knobhead.
Right, so we're going into guard turn 5 now, last turn of the game. We're going to get plus 15 for primary, finally, because we control 4 objectives. Well, we control 3 and contest 1.
I control 2.
And Johnny controls 2, so that'll be plus 15, which is a nice little boost.
How do you control 3?
Uno, dos, tres.
How does that one count?
Well, I'm still within 3 inches, you're not within 3 inches. Yeah, from my big base. Big base is the best. So, just managed to clinch it.
I hate fighting guard.
I hate fighting guard. So, I get plus 15, which is nice. We'll see what we can do to Johnny. It's going to be an interesting game. Let's see what happens in the final turn for the guard, turn 5. So, guard turn 5. This is all we can do. We've done the best we can. We'll see if the Dark Elder can get some last points. I reckon Thin the Ranks is really going to pull it back for them, but we'll see. So, was able to finally just bludgeon down this last bike, which is just great. And then this squad fell back, shot Drozar, and he just took it all. And then a single like lasgun wound just took a wound off him. Lasgun bolt took a wound of him.
This guy
didn't kill him.
Grenade hits on him. And
he he took all the grenade hits, no problem. But by taking a wound of him, all they have done is draw Drozar's attention. I do not feel good for these 10 guys.
Point in the bag for me right there, if my opinion.
Over here, these guys were able to get the 4 back from on the witches, really good. Got a 5, Johnny got a 1, and then I was able to just get back in the fight to just gun them down. Heavy bolts, I just slammed them down. Did he have to roll the others?
If you can shoot the witches, they die. Like 10 lasguns will kill witches.
I should have overwatched against them last time, but it doesn't matter.
Did you have I think you were 1 CP.
2 CP. I can't even do anything with it now. That's it. I got 2 CP at the end of the game, Broseph. So at the end of that turn, the guardsman got plus 15 this time because we did hold more objectives in our command phase. Because at the beginning of the game we had 1, 2, 3 contested. Johnny holds 2. So that was the extra plus 5. Didn't get it last turn, but I got it in the final turn. I got another plus 3 for raise the banners, and I've been very sneaky, and I've raised an extra banner there with that guy. By that guy I mean that junior officer, just in case Johnny somehow tears one down, because I want to get the plus 3 at the end of the game as well. And I did manage to get plus 3 for my engaged in all fronts, because I've just managed to get a couple of units from in each table quarter, so looking good. So we've almost maxed out engage, we've almost maxed out raise the banners, we should max out unless Johnny can pull something out the bag. And
I need this guy to actually double his kill count. He's got 5 kills so far in the game.
It all comes down for Johnny on Thin the Ranks. Yeah. If he can successfully just get loads and loads of kills, we'll see how it goes. We haven't kept track of the points after turn 3 because we want to keep it nice and exciting for the end. So Johnny's going to get +10 because he still holds 2 objectives.
Yeah.
Nice. And
we'll see.
And we'll see. He may struggle to get engage maxed out this time.
Can I physically do it?
Oh no, you can't. I think you can't.
Yeah, the plane's going to end up there.
If your plane goes there,
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. So Johnny will get engaged as well, even with only 4 models on the board.
I've got max points for that. I've got it.
Johnny's so he's been really good with that. So let's see what the Dark Elder can do. We'll wrap it up. We'll wrap the points up, and we'll see how it goes.
So that guy's going to do is continue.
So end of the game. This is our extremely sophisticated point totting up machine. It's pen and paper. So, end of the game, when we've added it up, Johnny, his thin the ranks really swung it for him. Drozar really pulled it round with that, like sort of 30, 40 guards on that he just took out.
He killed 25 guards
and Johnny was able to max out engage North fronts just every turn, which was really good for him. He got assassinate turn 1. And he also then got max on his thin the ranks, which gave him 45 points secondary. Really high scoring game, this one, guys. And then
secondary.
And then on primary, we were both we literally both took us both by surprise. He got 40 points, even though he only controlled 2 objectives.
Kicked my ass on the primaries. That's why I sort of thought I'd lost the whole way through the game.
Yeah, we both thought, primaries are going to swing it for me, and I did actually. We'll get into that moment. So Johnny got 85. Then it got to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've held primaries. I've got 50 points." And we were like, "Oh, but it caps out at 45." So that's literally 5 points. You may
as well just hold 2 objectives.
You may as well hold 2 every turn.
4 turns.
I really
focus all your energy on defending.
Yeah.
I can tell you from bolt action. There's a bolt action game which is based on seizing a number of objectives.
Yeah.
And bunkering down on 2 makes it almost impossible to be beaten.
Feels like that now.
If you bunkered down on 2, you would have got 40 points.
If you bunkered down on me, I wouldn't have been so spread out. You would have been really just smashing your way into like Bulgrins and stuff.
Total false.
Total red herring, because you think, I'm holding so many more objectives. This is absolutely amazing.
I'm racking up the points. It's like, you reckon it, but you maxed out a turn ago.
Yeah, I maxed out a turn ago. So that was kind of a bit of a red herring. And then for my secondaries, I maxed out Raise the Banners. Really good one for the guard, that one.
It's literally... Try as I might, I could not.
Johnny was trying to slice them off with planes going past and stuff. And it just wouldn't
I maxed my secondary, so I'm trying to stop you getting yours.
Banners
is amazing.
Banners is really good for guard.
Especially when you can have... What I would do is I would have 3 dedicated 10-man bare-bones squads. So you can raise 3 banners in your first turn.
And then that's it.
And then second turn. And sit on them. And then you spend, how many, 40 points for 10 men?
Well, it might go up, but
essentially,
might be 50
you don't
points.
want to give them any kick because they're not shooting when they raise the banner, and then they're just going to sit on it and make sure no one can take it back off you.
Yeah, it was really, so, interesting game. So
really interesting. We've learned a lot about secondary.
I didn't quite get all the engage. Now, it's really, I think what surprised both me and Johnny on the engage front was that his plane could do it. That was really, because it doesn't...
I'm not complaining, because it doesn't...
Complaining?
No intended.
So I'll just say, Johnny's obviously not complaining, because... I can't do it now. Johnny's not moaning about it, but it's weird when they've, excluded aircraft from a load of stuff, but then you get to the engaging fronts, it's that aircraft can just do it.
Doable without planes.
Well, I managed to do it a little bit. So
you did, but you have a lot of guys.
Yeah, so unfortunately I missed out on it twice, so I just missed out on that. And then I didn't really have a good last one to take against Johnny.
You really didn't. And
I wasn't able to nip his last couple of vehicles. But to be honest, even if I had max secondaries out, it would have been a draw. Yeah. That's the crazy thing. Even if there'd been a better one against you, it would have been a draw, wouldn't it? Because you would have got 45. Oh no, I could have maybe won by 5 points then.
I'm stunned we were so... I tell you what, Games Workshop have achieved one thing, which is we probably draw more games than one of us wins. We've been playing...
Because when there's 6 to 8 points involved in the score, it's always comes down to a draw.
We've been playing 40k against each other for over 20 years. There was a long period of time where we would play 3 or 4 games a week.
Yeah.
And we now still manage at least once a fortnight.
Yeah.
And that's worst case scenario. So it's really uncommon for us to actually one of us beat the other.
Yeah.
We usually draw, but this has broken that cycle because there's so many ways to score.
Yeah, true.
So that's good, but that takes you back to the point that having a fully painted army...
Oh, can I say this bit?
Yeah.
Can I say this bit? So, this is how important paint and score is, guys. Like, if I wanted to, honestly, according to Games Workshop rules, I could just get 10 extra points and Johnny wouldn't get them. Because technically he's got 2 flying bases.
No, I do have
now,
2
we're not going to do
flying bases.
It's got 2 Yeah. So we're not counting it because it's not fair.
Yeah, I've had to make it.
But look how different. Look at the difference that would make to the score, guys. Like, I was all in favour of like painting points, but 10 is too many.
10 is way too many.
10 is too many. 10 would have propelled me into the lead.
10 is less points than you got for shooting my vehicles.
Yeah.
You got 6 points for killing 3 vehicles.
Yeah, it's so. It's the vehicle thing is so funny because like everything else is 10 wounds. Like thin the ranks, 10 wounds. Bring it. What's it called? There's loads of ones which are based on 10 wounds.
What are you trying to? And like for example, there's various abilities and codexes like knights have something that affects 10 wounds. I think Dark Elder is 8 for test of skill. But it's more.
But all of a sudden it's like, oh, bring it down.
11 or more.
11 or more. And it's like, but most vehicles are like 10 wounds.
Not Space Marine Primaris Transports.
I think they are actually over 10 wounds.
Yeah, they're only 10 wounds, so you only get 2 points for killing one. That's what I'm saying.
That's so dumb. Anyway, so end score, guys, is 85 to the Dark Elder, 79 to the Guard. Painting is, like I said, it would have swung it, so we're not counting it because
we agreed that at the beginning.
We agreed at the beginning.
Save me a trip back.
We just wanted to mention it simply for the
point of saying
it's a bit big.
It's too big. 10 points is too
honestly,
much.
If someone doesn't have it and someone else has it, that person swings into win.
Kill 100 Primaris. Say someone brings 100 Primaris against you, just 100 individual Primaris.
That's only 10 points.
That's 10 points and you can't max out that secondary.
Yeah.
And you've tabled them for 10 points.
Now let me, I want to have a little, now me and Johnny are going to be really...
Kill 2 knights, which basically any army...
Any army can kill 2 knights.
15 points.
15 points, yeah. I would have probably actually done better against your knights.
You would have done it. I told you this.
Yeah.
I said you would have done better.
I was really voodoo by the knights.
I played 2 armies and 2 games of knights last week and it was so much... let me put it this way, I'm going to enjoy using my knights when I just want a quick casual game. Yeah. Because knights are not that strong anymore. Yeah. And they haven't been for a while. They've been in the game for 7 years. If you're still refusing to face knights, you need to get a grip.
Says the knight player.
No, but seriously, you need to.
So what we're going to do now, guys, that's the point. Good game, Johnny. Really down to the wire. For a 9th edition game, that is bloody high scoring. Most of them are like 30 or 40 points. We really just tore strips off each other, which is fantastic.
You were left with officers left on the board,
yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, I've got 5 officers left. So once you stopped killing my characters, that's what's left. So
I'm going to switch to everything else.
Yeah. So what we're going to
say, the bikes, honestly, I've been moaning all the way through this game, and Tim's been very patient putting up with me. And I'm not
the salt mine has been. You've had more salt than the Bolivian salt mines, which account for about 70% of all salt and lithium mined in the world, and you've had more than that.
Now, interestingly to tell you, you haven't it's not been towards this game or the scoring or anything like that. As I said, I've had a fun game. I think picking your secondaries is a cool idea.
Yeah.
Ripped from Malifaux. We need to rebalance the points if we discuss, because it's easier to score some than others regardless. Yeah. And regardless of all of that, I think it's cool, but I've forgotten the point I was going to make because I'm very tired and it's been a long
That's fine, my legs fucking hurt.
What were we saying?
I think you were just talking about scoring.
No, I was saying something about... never mind.
Anyway,
there.
last thing I want to say. We're both absolutely knackered, guys. 10-hour battle rep. It ain't easy being YouTubey. Anyway. Point is that I want to say something about Guard in this new 9th. I genuinely think that we're going to struggle. And I'll tell you why. If there's a Guard player...
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Alright, go on. Jump back in the room. Jump back in.
My salt has been entirely towards the fact that my bikers have no acknowledgement in the
the bike rules are fucked.
So
pardon the language, but
stuff, vehicles get stuff, monsters get stuff, but bikes.
On battlesuits, they got a little caveat, didn't they?
Yeah, but flying
bikes, no.
No. So my whole army operates around getting in there, shooting your mobile gun platforms. If things get too spicy, pulling out and shooting from far. But now, my bikes, I've got a lot of heavy weapons mounted on those bikes, and they're not getting to use them. And
You barely fired your blasters, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, because the entire way my army's been built and operated over the last 18 months of 8th, the second ninth has dropped in my army, I have to...
I feel it with my guard
find
too.
a new way to work.
I feel with my guard too. We're getting a low on battery. I'm gonna do a quick wrap up, and if you want more information, I will put it in the after action report for this battle. So
if you want to see more Drukhari Witch Cult,
head up. Yeah, if you want to see more if you want to see some more pay-per-view killing in the safety of your living room, head over to the Schola Progenium, sponsored by Hypex Ultra. Hypex, kill the way you want to play. So
we're going to come up with so many Hypex tags.
Hypex Ultra. So one thing I want to say for I'll do the guard thing in the after action. I want to say
I've learnt a lot, and it's been a fascinating game.
We said we were going to do this, and we'll just spend 30 seconds each taking away who won and who lost. What was your feeling around ninth? Was it quite simply yes or no answer? Was it more fun or not? I
would say, from a purely fun perspective, I find 8th more fun.
Yes.
Now, I'm only 3 games in, but and as I've said, I really like they've got a lot of good ideas, but I just don't think some of them have necessarily executed the way I would have done it. Now, obviously, we've got a lot more games to play, a lot more to explore, loads of tactics to discover.
Yeah.
It's great because we can share loads of tactics with everyone as we develop them. We've got a whole new ball game to play, so to speak. So it's all very fascinating from a gamer's perspective. I play. You're starting to play a lot of different games as well now. Not just
I can't wait to get into action, man. It's so much smaller.
I play like 7 or 8, dystopian wars, everything like that. So, from a gamer's perspective, I think it's, a lot of great ideas. I think not necessarily where it needs to be yet. But
I would say, so my sort of 30 seconds on 9th v 8th is I felt way more stressed in this game.
Yeah.
Like Johnny will tell you.
Stressful.
Johnny will tell you. I often put the salt on, but just for the camera.
Yeah, a lot of it we are joking.
But Johnny will tell you I'm so chill, like super chill.
I'm one of the chillest people you could meet ever in life.
Not me blowing my own, not blowing my own trumpet gas. I'm saying it for a reason.
There's 5 years
I was honestly.
When you were 2-year-old and I was 7, so I remember when you went through your terrible 2s, you just didn't. You were quite nice.
Yeah, Tim, nice but dim, pretty much. So, but for me personally, I had to remember so much that was going on. Now, I like to think I'm not, stupid. I'm a normal bloke. But with 8th, I never had to keep track of anything. I just chill, man. I just went for it. 9th, I was constantly having to check things. And it wasn't I was checking rules. We didn't really check the rules that much. It was just like
we checked the rules.
I was keeping tabs.
We checked like 5 times over.
I was just keeping tabs on stuff constantly. It was a lot to keep track of. Your stuff, my stuff, and literally by turn 3, I stopped bothering trying to keep tally the points. I was like, screw it. We'll do it at the end.
I mean, I think it's one of those where 8th was genuinely.
8th was the 60s, free love Woodstock.
Yeah.
9th is realities, kicking the door down. 70s, grow up, get a job, join the army. Go to Nam kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
in the bad days of Nam, when it was all gnarly.
Dates aside, it's one of those. At 9th, put your thinking caps on. Don't necessarily expect to enjoy the first few games because I think a lot of learning. I
feel like 9th.
The terrain rules. Jesus. I mean,
oh my God! If we'd had terrain rules in this,
we customised the terrain.
Yeah.
I can see a lot of benefit from the other thing. -1 to hit. I mean, the thing is.
Fucking terrain rules, man.
The biggest negative for me was actually the propensity of -1s. Like, it's so easy to end up getting -1 to hit. They're a flyer, you're an infantryman with a rocket launcher, you're in cover you're shooting through cover, that's -1, you're in cover, that's -1. There's so many ways to get -1.
Yeah.
And -1 is kind of like, whatever, meh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who cares? So, and
honestly, the
you can't stack it. It kind of means like, well, I'm shooting at a flyer, so I'll just start running now. Or, I mean, I'm shooting.
Better get my jog on with that bazooka, so I can shoot that plane now.
I can barely see them, so
get a jog on.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's silly. The cap on -1. I'm not just saying this as Drukhari. I genuinely think the cap on -1 is just silly.
It should be because the thing is, they've got cap on -1, but then you always hit on 6s. Nothing in the frigging game hits on a 6.
So
I can't really think of anything.
Yeah, just.
So, 6 naturally is what I'm saying. Nothing hits on a 6 naturally.
You've got the rule that 6 always hits, then, sorry, if you hit on 2s and someone stacks minuses to hit and you end up hitting on 6, then suck it up. You're still hitting. Do you know
I think it should be a -2 when you're hit on 6s. I think that should be
a -2 cap is perfectly reasonable because you are clearly cheesing it out.
And I'm saying this as the guard guy.
Exactly.
As the guard guy.
It was too easy for you to hit.
Oh, I was just blasting bikes, fine from the hip, like, yeah! Yeah, get some! It's like, honestly.
How'd you hit reaver bikes? It's easy.
Just don't lead them. Easy, they've only got -1 ahead.
Don't lead them as much. Ain't more hell.
How can you now hit bikes in 9th? It's easy. You don't have to lead them as much.
We need to make that.
Oh man. So we'll wrap up there.
Name that film in the comment section.
9th. Hashtag it's quicker to play. So yeah, we've got a few issues with 9th. I would just say overall,
we've got a lot to learn though, and I'm feeling positive, especially about the scoring system. It just needs some tweaks. I'm not going to talk about how I feel about Guard and 9th after one game yet. That will be in the after action. I'm also, because we've been talking a while, I'm not going to talk about what I thought about the lists and whether I thought it was going to get smashed or not. That'll be in the after action. So if you want to get a few more in-depth Guard specific thoughts, I'll be doing an after action. It'll be going up the day after this video. I have to say, I'm particularly pleased with Drukhari, the fact that one of their major traits is +1 to hit +1 to wound vehicles, and I just couldn't use that obsession because you haven't got any.
Yeah.
And still managed to pull it through. So
yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, I'm pleased. I love Drukhari. I think I built them.
I feel like all that moaning was pretty unwarranted though.
Yeah. all my turn 2 moaning. Turn 1. It was my turn 1 shooting phase. I didn't kill my bikes. And then my plane killed 5 guardsmen in a game. But
anyway, guys, we'll call it there.
It's been a really, really fun, fascinating, and enlightening game.
We'll finish with a little close up of the CEO of the Mordian 50th. It's a minor loss. I mean, if this was a tournament, you normally have to beat someone by quite a few points, don't you? So that would
get 3 team points or something.
I think that would be if that was a minor loss, I think it'd be 11-9 because it was so close. Maybe 12-8. Maybe 12-8. Yeah. If it was ETC old school, this would literally have been 11-9 or 12-8.
If it was ETC old school, you would have won.
No, it's true. Yeah.
So
you can't hold any objectives, and I've got all the objectives at the end of the game. That's right. Kill point differential caps out at 6, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So you wouldn't have got 15, you would have got 6. So
exactly.
Yeah, 9th is interested.
It's 9th.
Yeah.
And kill points do count.
Yeah.
And you don't score at the end. So
what I'm going to do, guys, is
victory for the witches.
I think Guard have to be very careful at list building now. All I'm going to say, my hint for the after action is going to be Bulgrins, my kingdom for Bulgrins.
My kingdom for a Bulgrin.
Yeah, my kingdom for a Bulgrin. Oh. Anyway, and on that...
if you want to see more battle reports, if this has just wet your whistle, but you're still hungry for more, click on the link in the description below. There'll be another battle report on the Schola Progenium channel. Yeah. Blood Angels versus Gene Stealer Cult you bring
Probably, yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Right, hope you guys enjoyed that one.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Of course, I'll see you guys next time.